Have you ever witnessed something so unbelievable that, if it were not recorded, no one would believe it? The world is filled with absurd moments, unexpected situations, and incredible happenings. And fortunately, cameras are always around to capture everything, from bizarre coincidences to scenes of pure luck or even misfortune. Let us take a look at the most surreal moments ever caught on camera. These are the outrageous moments you will watch today. An impressive image captured by a vehicle's dashboard camera showed the moment when the driver acts like a ninja and saves the vehicle. The driver was inside the car, stopped in traffic, when he spotted a tire coming from the opposite lane in his direction. Without a second thought, he jumps out of the vehicle, positions himself in the tire's path, and when it arrives, he manages to stop it with his own hands, preventing the worst outcome. If the tire had hit his vehicle, it would have caused a huge mess, in addition to possibly causing injuries to other people behind him. His courage, reflexes, and strength impressed many internet users after the video was shared. After stopping the tire, he acts normally, as if nothing had happened. And of course, that also draws a lot of attention. Impressive scenes recorded by a bar's security camera show the moment when a customer simply does not notice the robbery taking place and continues using his phone as if nothing were happening. He appears seated at the bar counter, chatting with other patrons, apparently his acquaintances, when he starts looking at his phone. Right at that moment, a robber enters, announcing the holdup and subduing everyone, who lie on the floor in fear. However, the man at the counter, still on his phone, remains there, focused on the device, as if nothing were happening around him. While he stays there, absorbed in his phone and oblivious, the thief takes the opportunity to rob the customers and the bar's money. To cap off the weirdness, the thief ignores him, making him the only one not robbed. After the thief leaves and people are still on the floor, the man finally looks around and even laughs, unable to figure out why everyone is lying there. Yet, after a few moments, seeing the panic on their faces, he is informed and realizes that a robbery had just taken place. A home security camera captured the moment when a woman, driving a golf cart, loses control and causes one mishap after another. She is seen approaching the house entrance in the cart while using her phone. When she is already close to the entrance, she seems to lose control, accelerates the vehicle, and crashes into the entrance of the house. On impact, she falls out of the cart but gets up, and upon trying to drive it again, does the very same thing. It is hard to believe, but she manages to get back in the cart one more time and crash again into the house entrance. Hearing the crashes and the woman's screams, a neighbor comes out to see what is happening and finds the chaotic sight of the cart crashed and the woman looking completely disheveled inside it. She helps the woman, who, according to comments from some internet users, might very well have been intoxicated. A van driver ended up learning a hard lesson when he failed to respect the signaling and stop system on a street, damaging his vehicle and suffering a costly setback due to carelessness. He had stopped at a traffic control system where the street is blocked by a bollard that emerges from the ground and then retracts again. He did not wait for the light to turn green and, consequently, for the bollard to retract fully before accelerating and attempting to pass. As a result, the rear of the vehicle collided with the bollard, forcing it to stop. When he was finally able to drive away, we can see that the vehicle had a massive leak caused by the impact, something the driver did not notice at the time, so he simply left. Most likely, further ahead, the vehicle's dashboard indicated some kind of problem, and he realized that his rush cost him dearly. Besides failing to continue his journey, he definitely had to spend good money to fix the damage. A hilarious and unusual scene was recorded by a driver on a highway when a motorcyclist passing by used a ladder on the back of a truck as a support for his drink. It sounds strange, but that is exactly what you heard, and all the vehicles involved were in motion. The driver, who was going about his business on the highway, could not believe what he was seeing and started recording it. In the footage, a motorcyclist is shown riding directly behind a moving truck, while also using a ladder mounted at the rear of the truck as a shelf for his beverage. In the video, it is very clear that he extends his arm to pick up his drink and take a sip while still riding the motorcycle. Well, there is no need to say that what he is doing is completely wrong and risky, because he is right behind a moving truck. If the truck driver decides to brake, the motorcyclist is in big trouble. On top of that, he is consuming a drink while operating his motorcycle and doing it all without wearing a helmet. So, everything about it is just plain reckless. A man was seen getting out of a car on a street in the United States and charging at people with a weapon resembling the one the character Freddy Krueger uses in the movie A Nightmare on Elm Street. In footage shot by one of the people being attacked, we first see a car driving erratically down a street, swerving onto the sidewalk, until the driver steps out, agitated and holding a weapon that is, shall we say, different, and very similar to the one Freddy Krueger uses in the horror movie. Afraid of being struck by that violent weapon, people start running away, while at the same time, others try to make the man leave. After causing panic on the street, he slowly moves away, and the video ends before he can leave for good. However, all indications suggest that he got back in the car and drove off. The shared footage quickly went viral, and people began drawing comparisons to the horror movie character. A man who claimed he was helping his friends push a malfunctioning vehicle went viral online, causing bouts of laughter among internet users. As we can see in the footage, the car is indeed broken down. Several men gather behind it to push, while one of them climbs into the pickup bed and from there pretends to push the vehicle. But as is obvious in the video, his effort is in vain because his feet are not on the ground, which makes it impossible to move the pickup that way. On the contrary, he only makes matters worse by adding more weight for the others who are actually doing the pushing. The funniest part, which many internet users noticed, is that the people around him do not realize what is going on and truly think he is helping from up there. After all, nobody questions him. The only person who seems to notice is the one filming, who says nothing so as to capture such a display of cluelessness. A man became famous on the internet after appearing in a video in which he apparently believed he was either a master of disguise or invisible. First, he appears lurking around a motorcycle parked in a certain spot. Seeing that no one was nearby, he decides to hop on the motorcycle to steal it. However, upon slightly raising his head, he immediately realizes there is a camera right above where the bike is parked. So, he stands up and appears to walk away, giving up on stealing it because he has already been caught on camera. But that is when the unexpected happens. A few moments later, he returns to the scene with a bag over his head to steal the motorcycle. That is exactly what you heard. In a bizarre turn of events, he comes back with a bag on his head, but as we know, he was already recorded before, so everyone was fully aware of his face, and that bag would not do him any good. The video, which went viral and made many people laugh, led folks to call him the Master of Disguise. Footage recorded at what appears to be a gas station shows an incredible moment in which a man heroically saves two children from a tragic fate. Standing next to his vehicle, the man notices something strange going on around him and hears a loud sound approaching. He quickly turns around to find a car speeding out of control straight toward his position, and right in front of him, in the path of that out-of-control vehicle, were two children. Acting in a completely heroic manner and with lightning-fast reflexes, he grabs the two children and jumps back, pulling them out of the vehicle's path in a matter of seconds. As we can see, it really was like a scene from a superhero movie. His actions were crucial in preventing the children from being hit. Thankfully, no one was hurt in the incident, thanks to this man, to whom the children's parents will be forever grateful. A rather funny scene took over the internet at one point, showing a brazen thief giving up on stealing once he realized he was on camera. A supermarket security camera placed in one of the aisles caught the moment when, casually, he takes a bag of some product and hides it under his shirt. After doing that, he tries to leave quietly, but upon looking up, he notices a massive camera pointed right at him, recording his every move. Feeling regret, or perhaps fear of what might happen, he pretends nothing is wrong, does a silly dance, and returns the product to its place. The scene ends up being funny because of the dance he does and also his apologetic gesture to the cameras. Of course, many people criticized his conduct, while others suggested that he might have been in a desperate situation without food at home, which drove him to do such a thing. Still, as we know, there are other ways to obtain food without resorting to theft. A video circulating on social media shows an incident involving a motorcyclist who, after being cut off by a car, tried to break the car's side mirror but ended up taking a nasty fall in the process. In the footage, whose location and date have not been identified, the motorcyclist speeds up to catch up with the car that cut him off, clearly frustrated. He then attempts to kick the side mirror of the car, but the force of the blow causes him to lose his balance and tumble onto the road in a rather ugly fall. The motorcycle flips over and lands on top of him while he is already on the ground. Well, he could have avoided avoided all that trouble if he had just moved on, but he wanted to pick a fight and ended up paying the price. Despite how serious it looks, the motorcyclist did not sustain any major injuries. However, the fall caused considerable damage since his bike was badly wrecked. For some people, neighbors are synonymous with disagreements, and because of that complicated relationship, unpleasant things can happen, like a lack of privacy. In a video circulating online, a man allegedly recorded, in secret, the woman who lived in the building across from his, sitting in her window in a very odd way, even causing a bit of fear, as she appeared to be sitting there motionless, as if in a trance. In a different piece of footage, we see another resident showing the alteration that her neighbor made, effectively taking away her home's privacy. Through a raised balcony and a metal grate, the neighbor had a full view of the residence, including its bedrooms. Such a bad relationship, and sometimes outright exposure, can be very hard to deal with, since we are talking about someone who lives next door, and whom you will theoretically have to deal with for quite a while, often even a lifetime. A woman was walking down a hallway when, upon seeing an obstacle, she decided to jump over it without a second thought. However, her choice was not the wisest. A man walking right behind her upon seeing her do that looks baffled, as though his mind has glitched. His reaction makes sense when he reaches the obstacle and, with a simple push of his hand, shows that it is actually something movable, a type of door. All he had to do was open it to get through, but the woman, in a hurry and not thinking much, chose to leap over it without even checking what it was. The video, recorded by a security camera in the hallway they were passing through, ended up on the internet, and many commenters noted that if one stopped to observe, it made no sense to have a fixed barrier in the middle of a hallway where people pass by. However, the woman did not think that way and provided everyone with a funny moment. In May of 2022, at a busy intersection in Boynton Beach, Florida, a heroic rescue was caught by security cameras. A woman driving there experienced a medical emergency, causing her car to slowly move through the intersection. Witnessing the situation, a group of people quickly leapt into action. They managed to stop the woman's car, breaking a window to access the interior, and then pushed the vehicle to a safe spot. Later on, the woman received proper medical care, called by those who rescued her. According to reports, the woman had passed out at the wheel, though the issue that led to her fainting was not made public. Fortunately, the bystanders at the scene noticed the situation in time and saved her life. Some days, luck is simply not on our side, and we have to face setbacks, like what happened to this unlucky man. In the video taken by his home's external security camera, we can see him arriving holding a beach umbrella. He walks with it to a glass table outside. The table has a hole in the middle specifically for the umbrella, and that is exactly where he tries to place it. His shocked yet oddly accepting reaction when he sees the table break is what internet users found most interesting. The man seems unable to believe what he has done. Right after it breaks, he just grabs the umbrella again and walks away as if nothing had happened. Another man went viral online after being seen, let's say, interpreting a sign a bit too literally in the area where he was passing. Arriving at a certain point on his bicycle, the man noticed a sign in the middle of a cone divider indicating that cyclists should pass on the left and pedestrians on the right. Taking it literally, he gets off his bike, pushes it on the left side, while his body walks on the right side. Seeing this bizarre scene, someone trailing behind him recorded it and shared it on the internet. The video's impact was huge, and many people joked that he was just following orders. Naturally, what the sign meant was that anyone on a bicycle should keep left and anyone on foot should keep right. However, his interpretation was, shall we say, very literal, or maybe just playful. Either way, the scene ended up being quite funny, and he became internet famous without even knowing it. Subscribe to the channel for more videos like this.